Summer workouts, two-a-days, countless hours in the weight room, all for this. We'll kick things off on the Blitz with a rivalry. Grand Rapids Christian, fresh off an unbeaten regular season, but soured by a playoff run that ended too soon. Eagles return lots of talent and taking on rival South Christian. The Sailors, led by sophomore quarterback John Wasink, have their hands full in the opener.
It's a great Friday night football game.
It was the start of a new era in Greenville. The brand new Legacy Field opened with arch rival Belding in town. The Redskins kicking off a new era with new coach Joe Schwander. Muskegon never shies away from tough competition. Case in point, defending Division III state champion Orchard Lake St. Mary visiting Hackley tonight. Plus, Muskegon center Quincy Crosby is taking us on campus.
My mom not going to let me go anywhere where the academics are bad.
Zeeland West started its title defense by hosting Fort Hill Central tonight with new head coach Tim Rogers.
Getting better every day.
Sit down. Listen up.
You're kidding me, right?
No, we're not, Coach. The Blitz really is starting right now. It is the unofficial start to fall. Prep football season is here. The Blitz is back and better than ever. This season, we have plenty of new things like the Blitz Battle, Game Time Rulebook, and On Campus. I'm Tara Hernandez alongside Steve Amaros.
Yeah, plenty of old favorites like Game of the Week, Plays of the Week, the always popular Top 10. And oh yeah, lots and lots of highlights and analysis. Several teams getting a jump start on the season last night, but most got it going tonight.
Yeah, Paris State champions began their quest for a repeat. Mendon did it the way it finished last season against Fowler, a program first for the Hornets, and for many others, it is a fresh start with hopes and dreams very much alive. We start as we always do with the Game of the Week. Grand Rapids Christian had a busy summer highlighted by the commitment of star Drake Harris to Michigan State, but that is the past. The present is the season opener with rival South Christian. The Eagles have all kinds of expectations for 2012, and this season they wear the target square on their backs. The Eagles putting their 10-game regular season win streak on the line against the Sailors. Let's get it started, shall we? The infamous log in the first. Scoreless game until the Eagles hand off to Devarius Collier. Collier goes outside, turns the corner, and goes 10 yards for the score. Grand Rapids Christian quickly up 7-0. Still in the first. Eagles hand off to Collier. He breaks outside, and just like the last time he makes some moves, GR Christian up on the score, 14-zip. Later, Sailors now down 17-0. John Wasink drops back, throws deep where he finds Derek Walter. Walter brings the Sailors to within 10 at half. In the second half, South Christian has the ball. John Wasink gets hit, drops back. Matt Hall picks up the fumble for the Eagles, and he is going the distance for the Grand Rapids Christian score. Eagles go up 24-7. Grand Rapids Christian on the move again. Quarterback Alex Van de Bussy unloads deep to guess who? Spartan-bound Drake Harris. Touchdown there. Eagles go up 31-14. Jump in the fourth. Eagles again. Van de Bussy keeps the handoff, loses his shoe, but not the football, cuts back outside, and he would go in to score the touchdown. Grand Rapids Christian, a winner, 38-28. Sailors still giving him a test. Senior quarterback Alex Van de Bussy, 11 for 24, 155 yards, that one touchdown, 26 rushes, 94 yards, and a score. Grand Rapids Christian junior wide receiver Drake Harris, 4 catches, 55 yards, and that touchdown. South Christian sophomore quarterback John Wasink, not too shaky in his debut, 227 yards, 12 of 24, 3 touchdowns, 18 rushes, 145 yards. We send it out now to Fox 17 and WBBL's Brett Bakita. Brett, what a game to start us off, huh?
Oh, I loved it, Tara. You know what? That's what I love about these rivalries, these great games we get at the start, like Lowell Rockford last night, East Grand Rapids Catholic Central. Here's another one. South Christian and Grand Rapids Christian. The last 5 times they've met, guys, Christian won 3, South won 2. 4 of those 5 have been by 11 points or less, so we should have known a barn burner again tonight. You just got a feeling, though, that Grand Rapids Christian was in control, maybe 1 score away from a breakaway. It didn't happen, and the 2 quarterbacks played well tonight. Alex Van de Bussy, the senior quarterback, you saw in some of the highlights, 249 yards of total offense and 2 scores he accounted for, and he got some help from guys like Christian Vandenberg and Devarius Collier. On the other side, the debut varsity-wise of sophomore quarterback for South Christian, John Wasink, 372 yards of total offense, and he had some help too, but 4 touchdowns. Both the futures look bright for these guys after week 1.
All right, Brett Bakita. Looks like we've missed him a little bit. Brett, I know you really liked this week 1 showdown between Grand Rapids Christian and South Christian. Brett, if you can still hear us, I want to know how they're going to look next week.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great test, and you'll hear more from Don Fellows on that in the Coach's Corner, Tara, because they got Cincinnati Moeller on the road next weekend, who's number 14 of the country, the USA Today. But they knew what they were coming in with South Christian, and they got that test. They thought maybe the kids reading some headlines a little bit, so it was good that they had to battle through this one. And for South Christian, OK Gold, you better take notice, because John Wassing seemed like he played a whole season in one game as a sophomore starter with those impressive numbers. And with the pressure Grand Rapids Christian brought to him tonight, he answered the bell. So look out in the OK Gold. I think the Sailors are going to be a factor, guys.
All right, Brett, thank you. Also new to the White, Caledonia hosting Howland the Dutch under new head coach Tony Blankenship. Pick it up first quarter. Howland could be Mason Masato deciding to go deep. The Caledonia secondary is ready. Justin Kruger with the pick. Scots have momentum. They capitalize. Next drive, handoff to Heath Hoogerhide. Yeah, there he is. This is Scots up 6-zip. In the second, Caledonia adding on. Quarterback Ryan Zoet decided to keep it himself. Why not? In for 6. Puts Caledonia up 14-zip. Scots run away with it 45-7.
Staying with the new to the OK White theme, Jenison also making that move to the conference. The Wildcats have been the smallest school in the difficult OK Red for years now. Now they join a new conference, but open the season with a former Red foe and rival Greenville. Both schools are in what can only be described as rebuilding mode. The Bulldogs and Wildcats combined for just 2 wins in 2011. Second quarter, some great special teams play here by Jenison. A.J. Snip fights his way through the line, gets a hand on this field goal attempt, keeps the game scoreless, and Irv Sigler's fired up about that. Later in the second, Granville's offense starts to find itself. Andrew Vaver gets into the pass there, caught by Tyler Kendragon along the far sideline. It's a 33-yard gain. 2 plays later, it's Dylan Jolliffe capping off the Bulldogs' first scoring drive from 2 yards out. Granville strikes first, but it's Jenison coming up with the victory, beating Granville tonight by a touchdown, 27-20. We go now to Fox 17's Jason Hutton, who's actually at our Blitz battle tonight between Belding and Greenville. Jason, I know you have some thoughts on these first couple games that we've seen.
Well, it's the OK White, Tara. The OK Red for years has been dominant in West Michigan and arguably the best conference in the state. With the realignment this year, I'm saying the OK White's not only the best conference in the area, but maybe the state. And the proof is tonight. Jenison was in the red for all those years. They moved to the white. They're right back in all that mess. They get a great win tonight. Caledonia looked very impressive. Grand Rapids Christians are #1 team in the Blitz poll. And there's another new addition to the OK White that did something pretty impressive tonight as well. We'll catch up with that later in the show. Plus, we'll come here to Greenville, where a former OK White team got off to a great start tonight as well. That's all coming up, though, later.
I the book with a tease. Northway Christian starting the season against Bob. I'm telling you, can't put my finger out, but I know that guy from somewhere.
Where?
Swear to you. Later, third quarter, Mustangs up 7. Neither with the ball, not anymore. Fumble, Nick Swore had to deal with major cuts with both his hands in this game, coming up with the ball. Ensuing drive carries over to the fourth quarter. 4th and 11 from the 30. Michael Lewis getting more than just the first down. He's tiptoeing the sideline, putting up 6. Extra point, no good. That was important. Made it 27-14. Bees next possession. Nick Anderson coming up with a hit from behind. Ball's loose, and Thomas Blackport falls on it for North Point Christian. But the Bees, the Fighting Bees, fight back to win this one, 28-27.
What time is it? Let's go! 7, 8, 9, 10. You gotta get it wide, okay? Get it wide, okay? Hey, here we go. 2 go. There we go.
Okay, be ready to go. You're gonna be in, all right? Give him a break. He's playing defense right now.
Leading procedure, run up middle line of scrimmage, 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
This is good point.
Muskegon Big Reds are no stranger to playing a tough schedule. Playing the rugged OK Red will guarantee that. But Muskegon has moved out of the red and into the black this season. Don't we all wish we could do that? So how did the Big Reds celebrate what is expected to be an easier conference schedule? Well, they just put together what can only be considered the toughest non-conference schedule ever assembled. started tonight. Ever. With the Division III defending state champ Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You look at the schedule. You tell me. First quarter, Muskegon on a 2-yard line. John King running in the TD. 7-0 Big Reds. Later in the first, Orchard Lake St. Mary's going to charge back. Matt Linehan, yes, Scott Linehan's son, finds Parker McGinnis for the 11-yard touchdown pass. Makes it 7-all. Fourth quarter late. Linehan, son of the Lions offensive coordinator, dropping back, fumbles the ball. Sherman Hodges picks it up in the end zone for the score. 21-7 at that point. Big Reds go on to win 21-14. Zeeland East also moving into the Black this season, visiting former OK Green foe and Holland Christian and its new coach Jim Cassera. Zeeland striking first. Quarterback Mike Cusser unleashing, finds Spencer Vini. And Vini would score on the next play to put the Chicks ahead, but this is the play that was really worth the highlight, so that's why we showed it to you. More Zeeland offense. Mike Cusser again launching a bomb. Levi Vanneman. Cusser would score 6 more on the very next play. We don't want to show you the scoring plays. We'll show you the setup plays. Okay, that's what we're doing. Holland Christian crowd tried to get his players going. It works. Tyler Schurer to Kyle Stenega. Amazing grab for the completion. 2 plays later, he's going to do it again with another great catch and a touchdown. But Zeeland East that wins big, 64-28.
Gotta be a top 10 nominee, huh? Not top 10.
Top 3.
I think we should send it to SportsCenter though. Top 10. Let's do it.
Okay. Done.
Muskegon Catholic is a small school state power, and last season the Crusaders had one of their better teams. Sure, they lost in the district final to eventual state champion Mendon, but it was obvious that they were the 2 best teams in Division 8 last year. Now the Crusaders return some experience in the backfield. The question for them is up front. Hoping to find some answers tonight at Mona Shores. Year number 2 of the Matt Koziak and Tyree Jackson era for the Sailors. Mona Shores up big early in the second half. Quarterback Nick Holt takes it in from 1 yard out. Sailors up 28-6. Next Sailors offensive drive, Chris Bradford breaks a few tackles, busts loose, 31-yard gain, one of several long runs he had all night. Fans liking it. Late in the second half, Crusaders looking to come back. Sailors defensive back Gage Veltman coming up with the interception, sealing the game for Mona Shores. After the win, the team meets the students for the traditional ringing of the bell. Shores topping Muskegon Catholic 42-6. Grand Haven opening with 2 Traverse City schools as they usually do. Tonight it's TC Central. First half action. Bucks quarterback Michael Penland scrambles out of the pocket and hits Jeff Olson. 18-yard gain that would put Grand Haven deep in Trojan territory. It would lead to this 35-yard field goal. Ryan McGuire giving the Bucks a 10-0 lead. Fires the Bucks up. On the next Trojan possession, quarterback TJ Shepperly takes it himself, 12 yards for the score, putting the team on the board. Bucks still leading this one though, 10-7. Later on the Trojans drive, Bucks defense coming up big. Isaac Newhouse intercepts the pass to the end zone. Grand Haven would lead the charge the rest of the way. Bucks open their season a winner, 17-14. We kick it back out live now to Fox 17 and WBBL's Brett Makita. Brett, I know you want to talk about that Muskegon game, but out of all of those games, one of the shocking ones to me is Muskegon Catholic falling to Mona Shores. Look at the Sailors coming up big.
You know what? I covered this rivalry for 1 year when I was in Muskegon doing radio, and you're right about the rivalry. And people might say, well, Muskegon Catholic Central, a much smaller school, but with a tradition of Mona Shores, that's a big win for the Sailors. And Tyree Jackson, keep an eye on this super sophomore. He had about 25 to 30 pounds in the offseason. He was so small last year as a freshman at the varsity level, but they really like his athleticism. And he's the type of guy that they need to make some plays for the Sailors. You're right, though, Tara. I'm surprised at how big that differential was. And maybe for Matt Koziak, a great starter for them for Mona Shores. Staying with the Muskegon theme and the Big Reds, you know, Shane Fairfield has come out. He's feeling real comfortable about his 3rd season with the Big Reds, taking over from Tony Anise and Matt Koziak as they went through that system. And, you know, he feels this could be the best offensive line they've had in Muskegon history. That's 100-plus years of high school football and some great players, but they average 270 pounds. And you know they've got athletes and talent. Impressive win tonight. And you're right, Steve, about that schedule. You better get that one because you got Rockford and Lowell and some big ones looming down the road for the Big Reds.
Yeah, they decided to load it up. Yeah. Load it up on their trip out of the Red, Brett. Yeah. A great way to get out, right?
Exactly. Well, you know what? I said this. The BCS and all the schools should take a look at high school football in West Michigan. No one dodges anyone anymore because they can't.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Good word of advice to the BCS
There
people.
we go.
2 years years ago, Comstock Park advanced to the regional finals. Last season, the Panthers took it one step further, making the Division IV semifinal. So this season, the logical move is a trip to Ford Field, right? Comstock Park certainly has the talent to make that happen, even in the West Michigan area with many strong Division IV programs. It'll be up to third-year starting quarterback Jake Brown to lead them there. Tonight, they start by hosting Forest Hills Northern. Starting off the second half, Comstock Park already leading 16-0. Jack Rasmus gets the block and INT. That sets up this. Jake Brown to Drake Barr, unleashing. Barr is in the end zone. That would put the Panthers up 23-0. Then late in the third, Panthers on their own 9. What could Brown do for you? Brown is going to call his own number. He takes it in for the quarterback keeper. Comstock Park opens with a W, beating FHN 30-6.
Well, it's well documented that Northview has never qualified for the state playoffs in school history. 5 times since 2001, the Wildcats have finished 1 win shy of the magic number of 6, including last season. This offseason, their coach left to join Tony Anise at Ferris State. Northview hired Greg Ganfield after 2 years at Forest Hill Central to take over the program. Wildcats looking for win number 1 of the Ganfield era on the road at Byron Center. Pick it up third quarter. Byron Center leading 21-7. Northview quarterback Robbie Meadows taking himself 12-yard score. 21-14 game. Byron Center ready to answer early fourth. Jake Lancaster going to hand it off to the senior Garrett Cross. Runs it in for the touchdown. And that would be all Byron Center would need as they go on to win this one 28-16. New matchup start the season. Oak Ridge Eagles at Forest Hills Eastern. First quarter, Oak Ridge on the 27-yard line. Austin Wright handing off to Dan Shoup. Finds room and pay dirt. Oak Ridge off to a 7-zip lead. Later in the first, Oak Ridge back on the O. Shoup getting the call with the direct snap and once again finds his way into the end zone. Missed extra point makes it 13-zip Oak Ridge. Later on, Oak Ridge looking to pour it on. Wright can't hold on to the snap. Covered by the Hawks. Will Blank. Drive would stall, though. Oak Ridge gets the big win in week 1, 25-6. Time to bring in the book. Jason Hutton back into this one. And Jason, you know, we've got to address it. It's right there. Muskegon Oak Ridge normally always starts the year up with the Heights. Muskegon Heights. Not the case this year.
No, several years they opened with the Heights, and you know, uncertainty surrounding what was happening with the Muskegon Heights School District. They went to a charter school. They didn't know if they were going to have athletics. So if you're Oak Ridge, you say, we don't want to sit around and then not have a game week 1. So they got out of the contract. They've added at Forest Hills Eastern. Great ad for Oak Ridge. It gives them good competition to start the season. Great win for Oak Ridge, by the way, tonight. They look to be a team to contend for that tough West Michigan Conference a season ago. And to look back real quick at a couple of the earlier games that we just saw, Byron Center, very impressive over Northview. I look to Northview to be one of the contenders in the bronze this season, and they fall to Byron Center tonight. Maybe a team here at our Blitz battle will be a contender in the bronze, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. And Comstock Park, Jake Brown is as good as there is in West Michigan at the quarterback position. We saw him hooking up with Drake Barr in the highlights. Drake Barr is a talented receiver, the junior. I think Comstock Park has the pieces to make a deep playoff run for a 3rd straight year.
We are team! We are team! Now this is law and jungle! This is law and jungle! And all that's true is the sky! It's all that's true is the sky! And the one that keeps me prosper! The one that keeps me prosper! The one that brings us back! The one that brings us back! It's the cream that goes to tree trunk! It's the cream that goes to tree trunk! Roar, 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 bang! Roar, roar, bang! The train that packs the wolf! The train that packs the wolf! And straight the wolf is the pack! The straight the wolf is the pack!
New feature of the Blitz this year, Game Time. That, of course, was last night at Rockford. Time now for a look back at our Game of the Week. Grand Rapids Christian starting what it hopes is a special season by hosting longtime rival South Christian Sailors with a tough task in the season opener. Seen the highlights? We'll see them again. Eagles putting their 10-game regular season winning streak on the line against the Sailors in the first scoreless game until the handoff to Varius Collier. He goes outside, turns the corner, goes 10 for the score. Grand Rapids Christian up 7. Still in the first, Eagles again. Collier breaking outside, just like last time, makes the moves for the score. Christian up 14-zip. DR Christian, of course. Later, Sailors now down 17-0. Now Wassing drops back, throws deep, finds Derek Walter. Bringing it in, Sailors within 10 at the half. Second half, South Christian with the ball. Wassing going to get hit. Loses ball. Matt Hall picks up the fumble for the Eagles, goes the distance for the score. Eagles up 24-7. Then later, on the move again, this time with the offense. Alex Van de Bussy. Deep to Drake Harris. Why not? He's the guy to go to. 31-14 Eagles. Then in the fourth, Eagles again. Vandevussi going to keep it himself. Loses a shoe, not the football. Gets back outside and goes in for the score. Grand Rapids Christian with the win. After the game, we caught up with some very happy players.
It was awesome. I was coming off a blitz and somebody hit out and I just see it laying there. I picked it up and just ran as fast as I could in the end zone. It was just a great feeling.
Against a good South Christian team, they never give up. We went up 3 scores at times and they battled back every time. And a win like this, grueling win, it gives us confidence. I mean, it lets us know that we can play with pressure and it lets us know that we can do what we need to in the grind time.
And we always love the name drop. And bringing back Brett Makita now for another look at tonight's game of the week. Brett, Don Fellows has always been very straightforward with us. Get the sense he was happy with his team's performance tonight?
Well, I think, Stephen, it's a great question that they got what they wanted out of this. It was a rivalry game, huge crowd here. And as you know, when juniors become seniors and are asked to lead, like you heard from 2 of them, Matt Hall defensively, the middle linebacker, quarterback Alex Vandevussi, how do they do that? Because they followed in the footsteps of Kayvon Frazier, now at CMU, Wes Johnson, now at Ball State, Robert Cuba, now at Ferris State. I mean, they lost a lot of college talent, and those guys answered the bell when it was crunch time. And on the other side, they saw a performance of a good quarterback, a guy that Don Fellows told us about earlier this week in John Wassink.
He's got, we got our hands full for a couple years kid. We saw him scrimmage, and I used to recruit quarterbacks in college, so he's about as good of a kid as I've seen as a young kid. He looks like a senior. He had great moxie tonight, throws the ball well, had good control of the offense. He's a talented kid.
You know what, though? Your defense made plays tonight in this back and forth game. Talk about the fumble recovery for a touchdown, how big that was at that point in the game with Matt Hall.
Yeah, that was a huge play. You know what I mean? And I was pretty happy with our defense except for the 3 big plays we gave up. And we got to watch on video and see, obviously we had a mental breakdown there, but I felt like our defense did a really nice job all night and created a couple turnovers when it mattered. And, when you're pressuring people a lot, we've kind of switched our mentality. When you're pressuring, you're going to give up some big plays, but you're hoping to create some more turnovers and not be nickel and dime down the field. So overall, we're pretty happy. We got a lot of things to clean up, but give them credit, man. We knew they were going to come in and compete like they always have. We're happy. I think it's the second time in school history who's ever beat South Christian 3 years in a row.
And how about your quarterback? I thought coming back for his senior season, Alex Vandevussi did a nice job with your offensive sets.
Yeah, Alex played really, really well. I think he would like a couple throws back, but a little rusty. And even if you're trying to play up-tempo like we do, you can't simulate in practice all the time. But he made a couple key plays. He had a couple really nice balls, and really, he should have had 2 more touchdowns. We had 2 touchdown drops. So I thought he played well, and he ran the wall. And our system's complicated, so we need a kid like that, and I was excited about it.
How about South Christian, with the physicality and the coaching, a good bar setter for you guys, especially with Cincinnati Moeller coming up next weekend?
Yeah, well, like I said, South and us are a huge rival. So we knew this was what it was going to be. And I was kind of really proud of our kids just to find a way to win. They could have said, oh, man, we're in a dogfight. But it's a good reminder that we got to get better each week. Going down to Cincinnati Moeller, we know where we're at as a program. They're way better than us, and they're ranked 14th in the nation. But we're going for the experience. We're not expecting to win. I mean, it would take a miracle to go down there and win. Our kids know that. We're going down there just to show our kids what a real, legitimate, big-time football program looks like, feels like, And we might take one, but we're going to learn from it. We're going to come back, and I think it'll make all of our other situations, games, feel a little bit smaller.
I love that, guys. How about that for honesty for you, Steve? The Moeller miracle. Will it happen next week? And I heard you talk about strength of schedule Muskegon. How about after that, they still have East Grand Rapids, Lowell, and Forest Hill Central all in OK White Conference play.
Wow. Brett Makita, thank you. The Mendon Hornets begin the season as defending state champions. So what's new? The Hornets have won 12 state titles. It's amazing. But what they have never done is start the following season by playing the team they played in the state championship game. That all changed tonight as the Hornets travel to Fowler, taking on an Eagles team that returns a bunch of players from last season's championship team. In the first, Mendon with a 2nd and 10 on the 43. Quarterback Nick Eberstein throws up a 35-yard pass to Rodney Arnott. That will set up this. First and goal for Mendon, and Eberstein going to call his own number. Nice little 8-yard run for the touchdown. Mendon goes up 6-0 later in the second. Eberstein will launch a pass. He's going to find Kyle Wiswell. Dodges one defender, dodges another, and goes down the sideline. Just a 49-yard run, whatever. Mendon goes on to win 27-7.
Well, the Grand Rapids Christian Eagles are the defending OK White champs. Forest Hill Central, new to the conference. The Rangers won the last 2 OK Black titles, but that was not the White. For FHC worries about that, they get defending Division 4 state champ Zeeland West in the opener. The Ducks return enough to be considered heavy favorites to repeat in the OK Green, and they have the potential to get back to the top of Division 4 again late in the fourth. We'll just pick it up. Zeeland's Braden Worley runs it in, makes it a 2-point game. Forest Hills with the lead still. Zeeland going to try an onside kick, and Forest Hills Chris Bosher going to pick it up and do so much more. He's going to run this thing back in for a score, 59-50. Forest Hill Central with the lead. Zeeland comes back with less than 2 minutes left. Jordan Lambert, a 30-yard pass to Jordan Vandorp, makes it with a 2-point conversion, a 1-point game, but that would be the way it ends. Forest Hill Central gets the win in a barn burner, 59-58.
Trying to stop those guys is real difficult. I mean, you just hope that you score last. I said it before, I'll say it again. John Shillito is arguably the best coach in the state of Michigan, so we knew we had our hands full, and it was going to take everybody to do it, and we wind up winning because the backup running back could step in and did a great job running the football behind a veteran offensive line. So, yeah, it took everybody that we had to win this football game.
The Belding and Greenville rivalry is intense on its own. Bring into the equation the first game in a beautiful new stadium for one program and the first game under the direction of a new coach for the other, and you have a Blitz battle of epic proportions. Fox 17's Jason Hutton is in Greenville to tell us about the latest chapter in this storied rivalry.
Tara, it's been 100 years now that Belding and Greenville have played each other on the football field. 102 games now and 87 consecutive seasons these two schools have met on the gridiron. But of course tonight was about a big-time rivalry at a beautiful stadium. Here's the highlights. Great crowd on hand as always between Belding and Greenville for the first game at Legacy Field. Redskins go 3 and out on their opening possession, and then the bad snap on the punt results in great field position for the Yellow Jackets, and they take advantage. First play, Miguel Nieto breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, goes 6 yards for the score. It was 7-0 Greenville. Now Belding has a new coach this year, Joe Schwander, which means they aren't exclusively going to run the wing T, but they'll still run it sometimes. Here it works. Neil McCulley, 39-yard touchdown run. Extra point no good. It was 7-6. Second quarter, Greenville having trouble running the ball, so they're going to throw it. Curtis Heppy finding fellow senior Tyler Rasmussen, 30-yard touchdown strike. Greenville in front, 14-6. Later in the second, more from the Yellow Jackets. Nieto right up the middle for the short touchdown run. 2-point conversion made it 22-6 Greenville. Belding with a chance right before the half, but they fumbled the snap on the quarterback sneak. Greenville recovers, takes the lead to the half, 22-6. Third quarter, Greenville comes out and they got the running game going. Junior Carter Stevens right up the middle for the score. Greenville rolls 43-12 in the first game at Legacy Field.
Oh, we don't need any motivation for this game. This is a 100-year rivalry. You know, there aren't many of those in the world. You know, so this is awesome. And throw in the new field and everything. This is a great way to start a season.
There's no better way. You know, Belding over a 100-year tradition here, and it's just a great way to just come out, open the season, open a new field, and just have fun.
You know, it's early in the year. We're throwing a lot of stuff at these kids, and we'll get better. They'll be all right. You know, they had great effort, and you know, it's a good football team that just beat us. They'll have a good season, and we'll find a way to get better.
Guys, the story of this one, the first half was really competitive. It was 22-6 at the half, but Belding commits 10 penalties in the first half that really killed them. Plus, they give up the great field position early on the bad snap, and then they fumble going in the end zone right before the quarter. It was an even football game in the first half. In the second half, that was not the case. Greenville really dominated play. In the second half, we had a brief running clock in this game. A great win for the Yellow Jackets. They might just be a contender in that OK Bronze, the new conference this year. They certainly looked every bit of it tonight. For Belding, with the new coach, Joe Schwander, it's a learning process. For years, Belding was successful with the wing T, but that wore out. They had struggled lately, and now the Belding fans are getting what they want. It's not exclusively wing T, but they're going to have to be patient. It will take time, but it will come. Live at Legacy Field, Jason Hutton for the Blitz.
Hutton, thank you very much. That was Jason Hutton. Not only did Sparta qualify for the postseason last year for the first time in 5 years in 2011, Spartans won a playoff game for the first time in school history. The morale in Spartan country has never been higher. This season, Spartan looks to put its group of seniors to the test and take the program to the next level. Sparta Fremont playing for the Bull tonight in Fremont. First quarter, Fremont quarterback Christian Wade going long, gets deflected, but somehow Jared Bacon coming down with it. Everything's better with Bacon. Going to the house with this one. Next play, just close to the house. Next play, Wyatt Campbell going in for the touchdown. Fremont up 7-zip. Later in the first, Sparta driving near the goal. Nick Priest gonna punch it in, ties the game at 7. There was a whole lot more scoring in this one. This went into double overtime, and Fremont goes on to win 49-48. Shelby coming off consecutive playoff appearances, opening up on the road against Grant. Third quarter, Shelby quarterback Spencer Peters somehow avoids the sack, gets it to Nathan Lentz, dodges a tackler, gets into the end zone, makes the game 14-12. Grant later in the third. Peters gonna fake the run, and then here comes the pass. Shane Kajatazi coming down with it, scoring for Shelby. 2-point conversion, they go up 20-14. Now in the fourth, Shelby knocking on the door. First Courtright runs it in, puts Shelby up 26-14. Shelby goes on to win 33-14. Now you know what it's like to ride in the SAT truck and go to a game.
Yeah, Ben Strack taking the trip from Grand Rapids to Greenville.
Yep.
For the Belding Greenville game. Yes.
Our Blitz battle.
I like that. Very neat.
Outstanding.
So you ever been to a high school football game and wonder, what was that ref thinking? We know you have. That's why we are starting a new segment here on Fox 17, and it's called Blitz Rulebook.
That's right. Each week we'll take a look at a high school rule difference and explain just why those officials knew exactly what they were doing after all. Tonight we look at a call that causes all sorts of moans and groans from the stands: defensive pass interference.
We're here with Mark Ewell, Assistant Director of the MHSAA, discussing high school football rule differences. And one of the big ones that I see most is the uncatchable pass. In high school football, that doesn't matter in pass interference, does it?
Exactly right. And that's when our staff gets out to see games on Friday nights, not one goes by that we don't hear the fans start yelling that pass was uncatchable. The clip we're seeing here, the ball's going to get thrown to the top of the screen to the wideout, and you can see the defender grabs him once the ball is in the air. So under high school rules, this is pass interference. Now the ball is well overthrown. Certainly the receiver has no chance to catch this, and it ends up getting intercepted. But under high school rules, that doesn't matter. The defender made contact after the ball was in the air. That's a foul for pass interference, and it has to be called regardless if the ball can be caught or not. There is no such thing as an uncatchable pass eliminating a defensive pass interference penalty.
Jason Mark will be going over the differences in the high school football rule book all season long, so make sure you tune in each week.
Last season, Portage Central entered the season with high hopes, but injuries played a major role in derailing the Mustangs. Harper Creek, on the other hand, had one of the best seasons in school history, making it all the way to the Division III semifinals before falling to eventual champion Orchard Lake St. Mary. Both teams begin the season with hopes of making deep runs in the playoffs. Start off second quarter. Central down by 10. Ryan Mergener fakes the handoff and lobs the ball into the hands of Matt Capasso. A 16-yard touchdown. Central down 21-17 at the half. Third quarter, Central down 24-17. Mergener hands the ball off to Brad Weber. He takes it 20 yards to the house. Missed PAT. It's 24-23 Harper Creek. First play of the fourth, Mergener pitches the ball to DeJuan James, who tiptoes down the sidelines. 20 yards for the score. Central up 29-24. Harper Creek answers right back. Casey Carson from 2 yards out. Creek adds a 2-point conversion to make it 32-29, but there's no quit in Central. Less than a minute to go. DeJuan James gets the pitch, runs outside to the pylon. Central, a winner and a thriller, 36-32.
fun. A lot of character, a good group. We love each other. The team chemistry is just great, and that's what pushed us through at the end.
And we always talk about answering the other team, and I thought we did a great job of that tonight. It was up and down. They jumped out early. We kind of adjusted to the game speed a little bit, and then we got going a little bit, and then it was just back and forth, and we got the last punch, and luckily there wasn't much more time on the clock.
Another SMAC East versus West matchup, Stevensville Lakeshore at Battle Creek Lakeview. Lakeshore driving on their first drive. Quarterback Johnny Nate takes it up the middle, but he is stripped. Lakeview hops on it for the turnover. 2 plays later, Lakeview gives it right back when Riley Davis's pitch hits the ground. Lakeshore pounces on it. Lakeshore would cash it. Jake Achterberg takes it in from 3 yards out for the score. Lakeshore up 7-0. More Lakeshore in the first quarter. Quarterback Johnny Nate makes up for the turnover. This nifty little run makes 3 people miss on his way for a 49-yard score. Final score in this one, I don't have a script
we wait for it.
So I'm going to wait to see it on the screen.
We wait for it. I don't think we got one. You have to check online, fox17online.com. We'll have the final score for you there. Another segment new to the show this year, Blitz on Campus. Each week, a local player will take us on a tour of their program's facilities. And most weeks, this will be a player that's being recruited by college programs as well.
Yeah, the players will discuss their facilities and what they are looking for in a college program. We kick it off this week with Muskegon Big Red Senior Center, Quincy Crosby.
This right here is where everything happens, where you get your strength, where you get broken down, where everything just comes into light for you. This right here is what separates the men from the children. If you don't get it right in here, you won't get it out on the field. So these teams right here are our state championship teams. We got to see these every day. Every time we come into the weight room, that's what we aspire to be like. And then over here, we got our countdown clock. This right here tells us exactly how many days, hours, minutes, seconds till our first game. Off to our team meeting room. We call it the team room. This is where all our meetings are at. This is where film is at. Between the weight room and the team room, I see these 2 rooms more than I see my own room. Now we at Heckley Stadium. This place has tons of history. And that right there give you a boost every time you look up there. It's something in the air when you come out here and get on this field. It's just something about the way that the stars align, you know? It's like everybody looking at you. Everybody want to be on that field with you. This is our locker room. A constant reminder every day of how we fell short last year. It all starts here at the practice field. If you don't practice, you don't win. All this right here is what makes champions.
Stay tuned all season long as we take a look inside the facilities at several other schools.
Let's jump right to it. A pair of new coaches in North Muskegon. Tom Hochhalter for Calvin Christian, Mike Belmonte for the Norsemen. North Muskegon focused on the sideline. Second quarter, North Muskegon leading 3-0 until Andrew Woodfin takes it 6 yards for the score, 7-3. Calvin Christian at that point, after the point after. Second quarter, Aaron Anderson going to get picked off by Jane Bristol, who will take it all the way back to the 30-yard line. Ensuing drive, Dave Kuiper taking it in, putting it in for the touchdown. Makes it 13-3. Calvin Christian goes on to win 34-13.
Time now for a look at how our Blitz top 10 fared in week 1. Sure to be some movers and shakers in here. Grand Rapids Christian started the week on top, followed by Lowell, Rockford, Zeeland West, and Comstock Park. Christian probably going to stay in that spot after the win over South Christian tonight. What do you think,
would
Steve?
expect Lowell probably will stay right where they are. Rockford, of course, is obviously going to fall. Zeeland West, of course, is going to fall. Then you've got Grand Rapids Catholic Central at 6. Muskegon, a winner, big winner today. West Catholic, going to play tomorrow. West Ottawa, a winner. East Grand Rapids, a loser last night.
Also got to mention the Tigers falling tonight to the Angels. They lost 2-1. Miguel Cabrera was DHing. We were a little worried about him yesterday. Had that ankle injury, but he had the Tigers' only run in this game. solo home run in the 8th inning.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jason, we're going to check back in with Jason Hutton, who is in Greenville tonight. Jason, let's talk about some of the games we have on tap for next week.
Well, next week looks like a great week. We've got Zeeland East, Zeeland West, but I want to talk about that top 10, guys. A little bit of movement for sure coming, but the OK White, I'm going to beat you to death with it this year. It's a great conference. Number 1, number 2, that's the OK White, Christian and Lowell. Guess what? Another OK White team just might be moving in. What a win tonight for Forest Hills Central. Certainly Rockford, East Grand Rapids, a couple teams that fell short. Catholic Central, a team that looked really good last night, might be moving up. And I tell you what, keep your eye on Comstock Park. They're really good as well.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. You know what? Let's go ahead and toss it back out to Brett Bakita now. Brett, let's get your thoughts looking ahead to next week.
Well, you look at Thursday night, and Jason mentioned it, a big game in Zeeland. Remember, they're not in the same conference now in the OK Green. Zeeland East moving out to the OK Black to battle Muskegon for the right to be the best team there. Zeeland West, the defending champs, but they go down in a barn burner, Forest Hills Central. And if you're Zeeland East, redemption. We were at that game of the week. You guys remember Zeeland West pulled it out, went on to an unbeaten season and won the Division IV state championship. I don't know if I can think about John Shillito being 0-2. We'll see how that plays out, but huge implications already in week 2 in the Battle of Zeeland next Thursday.
Brett, thanks. Time for Plays of the Week, Steve.
Well, we'll pick it up. Play 3, Forest Hills Northern, Comstock Park. Touchdown pass here from Jake Brown to Drake Barr. Panthers up 23-0. Comstock Park went 30-6.
Holland Christian here. Tyler Schreier. The pass to Kyle Steigenga. Amazing grab by Steigenga for the completion.
If he had scored a touchdown, that would have been it. This was for a touchdown. Alex Vandevossi to Drake Harris with a score. That's what makes it number 1. Christian goes on to win.
Yeah, you can head to the Blitz page at fox17online.com to vote for which of these plays you think is this week's top play. Get on there and vote. That play will advance on next week to take on another set of plays.
Absolutely. And of course, next week, we're on Thursday.
We are on Thursday. Be here or be square. Right? So we asked the guys what games they thought were going to be standout next week. What do you think? The Zeeland East, Zeeland West. You can't go wrong with that, especially Zeeland West losing tonight.
Especially with the loss. It's almost a must-win for them in this situation. I guess not really, but with that type of rivalry, to start the season 0-2, that's not something that they want to do after a championship season last year.
Yeah, and you got to give a shout-out to Fremont tonight. Also had a really, really close game in double overtime to get that win. Congratulations to Rob Pouch's squad. An amazing victory in this one.
Jason Hutton just wanted us to let everybody know the OK White is going to be really, really good this year.
In case you didn't hear him the first 100 times, he said that. Next Thursday, be here for the Blitz. We'll see you then.